You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Lovers depend on moonlight for a love affair. Babies depend on...
Hey y'all, it's Blake, the creator of Abandoned, the All-American Ruins podcast. Before we begin, a quick note about what you're going to hear. This episode is part 3 of a 4-part project embedded inside Season 4, a sort of season within a season, called Fading Transmissions from a Republic of Ruins. This project is being developed not just as a podcast, but as a live audio theater piece. The first movement premiered on stage last December during my residency at Green Box Arts, and also served as the Season 4 opener. The remaining movements are still evolving for the stage, but rather than keep them locked inside a theater, I wanted to share them here as standalone audio episodes. What you're about to hear now is movement number 3 of that larger work, adapted for the podcast, which will exist for your listening pleasure while the live version continues to grow. You can think of it as a transmission pulled from a much longer signal, unfinished, in motion, and meant to be shared. So let's begin. And, as always, I have one final quick note before we get started. If you're not familiar, this is an immersive storytelling podcast, and it's best listened to with headphones on, imagination on, and everything else turned off. Welcome to Abandoned, the All-American Ruins podcast. Fading Transmissions from a Republic of Ruins Part 3. Glenrio was here.
That I can be beggar, I can be king, I can be almost any old thing. It all depends on
Throughout the Southwest, you'll find reminders of towns that failed. Now, this is a typical ghost town. You'll whiz by it in a matter of seconds, but if you've never seen a ghost town before, the first one will stay in your memory a long time. They came here with high hopes, they built their homes, they vanished and left their homes to the mercies of the desert sands.
Okay, so we are just about 5 minutes from the border, and my friend Evan told me about this little border town. There's a moment, driving west on I-40, out of Texas, when the air changes. You feel it before you notice it. The sky opens up, the ground cracks and dries, and the horizon morphs into a psychedelic mushroom trip. The desert slowly creeps in. I soften my gaze and think of the dairy farm from my childhood, the genesis of this project, the sound of the rain on the fallen roof, the way my imagination was always a soft place to land, even at 6 years old inside that space. In my fantasy, every room in that dairy farm felt like it had a story I could step into, poetically. Out here on I-40, the rooms are miles wide. Entire stretches of highway littered by forgotten towns and neighborhoods. Out here, ghosts don't have names anymore. They're just part of the land. As the New Mexico border approaches, the hum of the interstate starts to sound like something else. Not cars, not engines. Something older. Something fading, but not gone. A transmission of poetry. A sonnet about a border town between Texas and New Mexico. It's called Glenrio. God, this rain is nuts. It's like sheets and sheets and sheets of rain.
This is pretty unbelievable. Wow.
I was here. The ghost town Glenrio insists, as curdles of dust sway with the incessant rhythm of I-40 just off the horizon, while the sun sets on the border between Texas and New Mexico.
Were you though?
America replies. Because Glenrio lies buried under forgotten memory, and the long shadows cast by the abandonment of Route 66. Founded in 1903 as Rock Island by the Rock Island and Pacific Railroad, the border town hotspot didn't even reach its 80th birthday. It's the same old pattern, the same story that takes the blame in America. The interstate highway system.
Railroads have been building for the future. During the past few years, billions of dollars have been spent on America's rail lines. The Rock Island lines have been in the forefront of this building program. During the past decade, this railroad has rebuilt and modernized plant and structure more thoroughly than most of the nation's major lines. This program of planned progress has placed the Rock Island in position to give a...
Buildings. It looks like there used to be more buildings here, but...
You can also blame local infighting, geography, or maybe you can just blame time.
What a perfect time of day to come here, too.
Even its name feels like an identity crisis. Stitched together from Glen, which is Scottish for valley, and Rio, which is Spanish for river. It was, and remains, a disagreement among generations of locals. Which state owns the eastern portion of the town? Or what's left of it?
The states that make up the American Southwest, namely Texas and New Mexico, have at least one powerful common bond. Their history, culture, and traditions have been...
Not that it matters anymore. Oh, yes, it does. Glenrio follows up wistfully. Did you not hear me when I said I was here?
But you're not.
America jeers. Just so you know, Glenrio, I don't agree with America on that. Sure, you may not be incorporated anymore. Maybe you slipped fully into ghost town status by 1975 after I-40 bulldozed through and robbed you of all commerce.
Today, many of our highways are already obsolete.
And yes,
What would happen on
your exit is now simply a novelty pit stop for gas and weed. A border town dispensary that somehow brought more ruin to your revelry, despite serving as a new economic driver.
President Eisenhower's militant call for a grand plan to provide a modern, controlled access highway system led to the passage of the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956.
And yes, it's highly possible that most people will glance at the abandoned gas stations on the edge of town and stare right through them as they dissociate into their iPhone 17s or their Android Plus Mega Extras.
Public road engineers have long been making plans to meet the growing emergency of highway obsolescence. They have worked
And
with
yes,
scientific detachment.
it is exceedingly likely, my fair Glenrio, that you will never become again. Not in the way you once were. Does that mean I'm no longer beautiful? Glenrio asks. Seems like I have nothing to offer you anymore. No, that's not true, my friend. I wrote this prayer for you after all, at an inn in Roswell, sandwiched between a Walgreens and a Best Western, waiting for my turn to hang out with aliens and listen to drag race drivers tear down North Main Street.
Why go to all this trouble with radio telescopes when the extraterrestrials are already here?
For indeed, Glenrio, as I watch the orange and purple sky glow under the fallen embers of the Epstein files and the ashes of the Affordable Care Act, the latest casualties of our collective social and cultural history, I think about you, fondly, despite the fact that you've claimed so audaciously that you have nothing to offer me.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today.
Working class, middle class people to be paying over $50,000 for health insurance. So that is what this shutdown is about.
Epstein should rot in hell, so should the men who patronized this operation. And as we sit here today, there are over 1,000 sex trafficking victims, and you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on you. If you had any decency, you would resign right after this.
Glenrio, I'm here to tell you, and your beat to hell Main Street, the millionth grave marker of America's Route 66. It simply isn't true. You aren't dead. Not yet. In fact, you might be just beginning. Because long after I've rejoined that orange and purple cosmos, long after my last breath, you'll still be here, staring up at the sky. Whether or not your buildings or their ruins or the ghosts that once occupied them or even the grandiose Welcome to New Mexico overpass sign remain, you'll still be here. We angels up in heaven may not be able to distinguish your once distinguishable features, the old motor inn, the gas station, the post office, the Rock Island and Pacific Railroad station, but we'll remember your stories. You had so many, have so many. For that one moment of pause that you've given me, while the world as I know gets sucked up into the classist vacuum of American politics, I offer you this prayer of gratitude. You're still beautiful. And yes, you did offer me something. And I see you. Yes. And I agree. You're still here, an abandoned border town stop once billed as the last motel in Texas and the first in New Mexico. You look so evaporated and peaceful in the grief-stricken light of the golden hour.
There's no question but what completion of this wonderful highway construction program will affect everyone. From the national defense point of view, it's indispensable. The beneficial effects of this program are certain to be felt in every community in the entire United States.
To leave Glenrio is to leave behind a new best friend you'll never see again, the kind of friend you meet by accident, maybe on a plane or the subway, or bumping into them as a kid inside an abandoned dairy farm. Maybe they strike up the conversation first. Maybe you do. Maybe you both start talking at the exact same time. Then laugh and say, no, you go first. No, you. Because there's nothing else to do but giggle. As you wander the wreckage, wherever you meet, for that one small moment, your temporary best friend asks you, where are you headed? Oh, I'm just wandering. How about you? They don't answer. It seems delicate, so you leave it. You talk about other things instead, like the fact that New Mexico just launched childcare for all, the first of its kind in the United States.
New Mexico is now the first U.S. state to offer free childcare to all residents, regardless of household income.
Hey, wish I'd had that in my day, they sigh. Would have made my life a hell of a lot easier. You agree, even though you don't have children. As you and your temporary best friend poke around, you start to realize you're never going to see them again. Maybe they're a ghost anyway. And that's what leaving Glenrio feels like. As though I'm leaving behind a temporary best friend, a stranger who doesn't know me, no conclusions to jump to, just a handshake at dusk on the border between two states. I'd never heard of you before, Glenrio. Never thought we'd meet. And we likely won't ever see each other again, although never say never. See, that's the thing about strangers. You simply never have enough time with them. But maybe that's the point. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the 4th season of Abandoned, the All-American Ruins podcast. Join me every other week as I take you on an immersive sonic journey recounting my expeditions of abandoned spaces across the United States, which I transform into fantastical audio experiences that allow you, dear listener, to dive into my imagination with me, or maybe inspire you to go out and use your own. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts to stay tuned. And you can also subscribe, rate, and review, but only if you feel up to it. Also, if you like to read or enjoy amateur photography, just know that each episode this season is adapted from the original All American Ruins blog, where you can catch up on more of my adventures. Just visit allamericanruins.com or follow me on Instagram at allamericanruins. Abandoned, the All American Ruins podcast, is hosted, written, edited, and produced by me, Blake File, with studio space courtesy of Radio Kingston, WKNY, AM 1490, FM 1079 in Kingston, New York. Special thanks to my big brother Ryan for providing very valuable feedback for every episode of the Fading Transmissions mini-series, and Stev Hull Allen for doing so for the entire season, and my brilliant mom Beth for editing every blog post that I ever transformed into these audio adventures, and of course, to you. Thank you, my friend, for taking the time to explore these abandoned spaces with me.